This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, President Obama and other world leaders are in Paris for a major summit on climate change. Over 150 leaders are gathering for the conference. The goal of the annual forum is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. President Obama acknowledged the role of the U.S. in creating the problem and responded to critics who say reducing carbon emissions will slow the economy.
We've proved that strong economic growth and a safer environment no longer have to conflict with one another. They can work in concert with one another.
The Paris summit comes just 17 days after a major terrorist attack that took the lives of 130 people. President Obama says he salutes the people of France for insisting the conference go on. And here on the Suncoast, local scientists and environmentalists are seeing the effects of climate change in the form of ocean acidification and rising sea levels. They say taking action is an urgent matter for waterfront communities.
This community is vulnerable to the effects of climate change on a number of fronts. Sea level rise is going to affect Florida more profoundly than probably any other part of the United States.
How many people come to Sarasota to just go out and go fishing and enjoy time on the water? A lot of that stuff may change in the future if we're not careful to protect and preserve the environment that we have.
Mo Marine will continue monitoring the impact of climate change on our local waters. Now to Colorado, where new details are emerging about a possible motive for Friday's deadly shooting at a Planned Parenthood clinic. Suspect Robert Louis Deere talked about baby parts to investigators after his surrender, although he did not explicitly say that's what drove him to kill 3 people and injure 9 others. The Justice Department is reviewing the attacks as a possible domestic terrorism and looking at potential hate crime charges. Planned Parenthood of the Central and Southwest Florida is based right here in Sarasota, and the CEO says the organization is mourning the deaths and injuries in Colorado Springs. Planned Parenthood CEO says she is receiving an outpouring of support in the wake of the attack.
Planned Parenthood shared the concern of many Americans that extremists are creating a poisonous environment that feeds domestic terrorism in this country. We will never back away from providing a safe and protected environment for our patients that millions of people rely on in the United States.
Trevecki went on to say that clinics will continue to operate as normal. Rallies around the world today by those in favor of abolishing the death penalty. World Day Cities for Life is being observed in some 1,800 communities across the globe, including in Venice, where dozens are gathering in prayer service to end the death penalty.
Maybe the usefulness of something called the death penalty has expired. The death penalty was established quite some time ago with the responsibility of states to protect their citizenry. Well, I think there's a lot of other ways we can do that now besides taking the life of someone.
The rally continues tonight at the Epiphany Cathedral Catholic Church in Venice. Affordable housing will soon be available for Manatee County veterans. County commissioners recently approved a new agreement to provide housing to veterans in need. Volunteers of Florida is a nonprofit providing housing and services to homeless veterans. The group plans on building homes for about 20 veterans in Palmetto and Bradenton. The exact locations for the homes have not yet been identified. Veteran Services will work to help identify veterans in need. Florida's League of Cities is fighting a proposal in the state legislature to keep municipalities from setting their own dates for local elections. The bill would require every city and town to hold their elections on the same day, most likely lining up with the general elections in November. Opponents say local issues could get lost on a lengthy ballot.
What happens when you have a November election is that a municipal question might fall to the bottom of a ballot, and there'll be voter fall off from that ballot, and they won't necessarily make it to the bottom of the ballot where you might find a municipal official running for office.
The proposal, if enacted into law, would go into effect after the 2016 presidential contest. And 1,500 of the best junior tennis players in the world are on the Suncoast this week, playing in the annual Eddie Herr tournament at IMG. The tournament brings in thousands of people, including players, coaches, and families. Businesses in Bradenton say the influx of visitors is a major boost for their businesses. And Steve, what is the weather for the tournament going to be?
It looks like we're going to have fair skies. We got some rain coming in the middle of the week, but I don't think it's going to be all that heavy. But it's the first significant rain we've had for a while. Today was an absolutely spectacular day, sort of topping off a spectacular Thanksgiving long weekend. If you're down visiting, you're very lucky, and there's more to come. Let's take a look at what the temperature stacked up today as. 62 the low, 83 the high, or 63 for the low. That's still several degrees above normal, and it should stay that way for the balance of the week. We're dry right on the Suncoast, raining around Miami and to Florida Straits. And here's our forecast, and look at the direction that the showers come our way from. Not only from the southeast, but turning more southerly as we move into Tuesday. Now look what happens Wednesday. They start moving more from the south and even southwest as that cold front comes in. You can see it stretching across the northern part of the state. And we're going to get another surge of moisture on Thursday from over in the Yucatan Peninsula. Give us a fairly decent chance of rain coming our way. Here's our forecast for tonight. Low clouds and fog away from the coast with this moist atmosphere and calm winds. Our low temperature is 66 with northeast winds at 5 miles an hour. And it's still almost 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. And here is the 7-day outlook showing increasing clouds on Wednesday, 20% chance during the day. By late Wednesday evening, about a 50% chance of rain, peaking out at 80% midday on Thursday. We have a pretty good coverage on this, but just not heavy, and it'll start to dry out for Friday with a chance of lingering showers. Saturday and Sunday at this point look like temperatures in the 70s, which should be quite comfortable for this time of year, and we'll start warming up again next week if the pattern like this continues.
Okay, Steve, thanks a lot. And still to come, Donald Trump spent Saturday on the Suncoast. We'll show you the highlights of his rally and discuss the candidate's powerhouse position with voters. That story when we come back.
You can help make the wishes of Suncoast children and seniors come true this holiday season. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Join ABC7 and share your good fortune by becoming a Salvation Army Angel.
Just stop by ABC7 or Sunset Kia in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Venice to pick up an Angel Tree gift tag. It will tell you what a local child or senior citizen is wishing for this holiday season.
Thanks for your generosity and happy holidays from ABC7.
Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Baking show, huge hit from the UK. I love it. Oh, what fun it is to see the treats competitors bake. Baking show, coming to ABC. Who will make the yummiest bake? Judged by Mary Berry.
I can't wait.
The Great Holiday Baking Show, a 4-week event, premieres tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Vargas.
And I'm Don Brennan. The Community Foundation of Sarasota County is taking part in Giving Tuesday.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll tell you how you can help the foundation give back this holiday season. John?
We'll start off December, guess what? Warmer than average. But we have some colder air coming. We'll talk about its arrival date bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Donald Trump was in Sarasota on Saturday, and the crowd was huge. But what does that really say, and what did he say, and does that really even matter to his supporters? ABC7's Christopher Brantley joins us now with more. Christopher.
Well, good evening, Alan. And his supporters were hanging on every word of his speech, which ran almost an hour long. He discussed several topics from health care to national security.
These days, people are accusing Donald Trump of a lot of things. But you can't accuse him of making a discreet entrance. His helicopter, name emblazoned on the side, landed in front of an overflow crowd to cheers and applause. After speaking briefly to the crowd outside, he made his way inside to speak to a crowd of several thousand.
He's tough and he's mean, and I'm not mean, I'm a nice person. I'm just tired of seeing gross incompetence and stupidity.
Among the numerous topics discussed, Trump tackled education, health care, defense, and Florida politics.
We're leading in Florida against a sitting senator.
In a poll conducted earlier this month by Florida Atlantic University, in Florida, Trump leads the pack of candidates with 36%, compared to sitting Senator Marco Rubio's 18% and two-term former Governor Jeb Bush's 9%. And Trump did not hold back his feelings towards his competitors, especially Rubio.
He represents for a short period of time the people of Florida. He's got the worst attendance record in the United States Senate, doesn't vote.
On immigration, a familiar rhetoric, saying he wants to send illegal immigrants out of the country to have them return legally.
We're going to build the wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a great wall. And Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Believe me, they're going to pay. They're going to pay.
On health care, Trump called President Obama's health care plan a lie and a failed program.
We're going to terminate Obamacare, and we're going to come up with a plan that's far better at far less money, both to the country and yourselves.
On the right for citizens to own guns, Trump declared he's a full supporter of the Second Amendment and said recent mass shootings wouldn't have happened if more people were armed.
Some of those folks that were just slaughtered in Paris, if a couple of guns were in that room that were held by the good guys, you would have had a totally different story, let me tell you.
Moving to national security, on the Islamic State, Trump said the U.S. should have begun bombing ISIS-held oil refineries long ago to cut off their wealth.
You got to take away their wealth, and you got to look at the banks that are giving them fortunes of money. Nobody better with banks than me. You got to dry up their wealth.
Trump went on to say the U.S. has weak leadership, and one thing he would do is bring in new and what he described as smarter generals to lead the U.S. forces.
Terrorism happens when you have weak leadership and weak people. That's when it happens. No, that's when it happens. That's when it happens, believe me.
As you could see, the crowd was very enthusiastic. And Alan, being in the room, you really could feel that electricity.
All right, we'll talk about it more in our roundtable when we come back.
Congratulations to all our daily winners in ABC7's spectacular Swiss Vacay giveaway. Each received a $100 gift card to the mall at University Town Center. We'd like to thank all of you for participating in our contest. Now stay connected to ABC7, mysuncoast.com, and our Facebook and Twitter pages for our grand prize winner announcement coming soon. One lucky viewer will win a dream vacation to Geneva, Lucerne, and St. Moritz. ABC7 spectacular Swiss Vacay giveaway. Good luck.
This week on Millionaire.
I really want to be your first millionaire.
When the going gets tough.
I'm not sure.
Oh, goodness me, this is a difficult one.
They get tougher.
I want the million. I'll put 25 on the line. Final, please help me.
I came here to play. I'm going to go for it.
Oh, Matt.
You're right.
$50,000.
This week.
Here it is, your $100,000 question.
This will be a pure guess.
On Millionaire.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC7.
On Animal Outtakes, every week, it's a new animal adventure.
This week on Animal Outtakes, there are some wild animals we just don't want hanging around. Learn about some of the nuisances in our backyards and how you can get rid of them.
Door shuts and game's over.
Watch Animal Outtakes this weekend on ABC7.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to cross home plate in front of a cheering crowd at a Major League ballpark? I'm Max Swinitz, and you can find out by joining Save Our Seabirds, the Baltimore Orioles, and ABC7 for Run for the Birds, December 12th at Ed Smith Stadium. The 5K and 1 mile fun run will end at home plate and will be followed by a festival with live music, food, and fun. Proceeds benefit Save Our Seabirds, whose mission is to rescue and rehabilitate sick and injured birds. Register today at raceroster.com.
Welcome back. Donald Trump is leading in the polls in Florida, and anyone who went to the rally on Saturday knows he is drawing massive audiences. Joining us with more on is Joe Gruters, who is the chairman of Donald Trump's campaign in Florida and chairman of the Republican Party of Sarasota and vice chairman of the Republican Party of Florida, Rita Ferrandino, who is the treasurer and the former chair of the Democratic Party of Sarasota, and ABC7 reporter Christopher Brantley. Thank you all for joining us. And Christopher, that was an excellent report. Joe, let me start with you. What's your takeaway about Saturday's rally?
Well, it's apparent that there was a lot of energy, enthusiasm, excitement. Obviously, there's nobody in politics and that like Donald Trump. The guy is amazing. He really knows how to rally the people. I mean, the walk away, when I was talking to the supporters and people that came that were undecided that went to that event walking away, everybody really walked away thinking that this guy is going to be our next president. He is absolutely unbelievable. He's singing the right praises, security, reinvigorating the economy.
Rita, I see you want to jump on this, but Christopher, let me go to you and tell me a little bit about the crowd there. What was the makeup of the crowd?
Well, looking around, kind of taking note, you look around, you try to see the faces of people, and you try to see, why do you think everybody's there? You saw a lot of white, middle-aged to older people, very enthusiastic, as Joe said. You didn't really see a huge diversity. I did note that.
Is that a problem? I mean, Trump is polling 25 to 30% nationally at this point, which may be good enough to win the Republican nomination, but is it good enough to win the presidency?
Well, I've got to just say that the Democrats and the Democratic Party just want Donald Trump to keep talking. We were here in Sarasota, the carnival was in town. I mean, we had elephants that arrived. There was a helicopter giving helicopter rides to kids, and it was a big entertainment spectacle. But I think here in Sarasota, Sarasotans are sophisticated and care about really understanding public policy, and I think what many of the people that I know that attended and talked about was there was no discussion about substantive public policy issues by Donald Trump.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what he did say. And Mr. Trump talked again about his comments that have gotten a lot of consternation about the reaction of Muslims in the wake of 9/11. Let's play a little piece of that.
15 years ago, because I talked about Muslims that were celebrating over in parts of New Jersey. Okay, so I made this statement. I didn't think it was a big deal because I thought everybody knew. And by the way, everybody admits worldwide the Muslims were absolutely going wild.
Joe, let me ask you about that because he started saying this about a week ago. Demonstrably, this did not happen, at least in the fashion he says it did domestically. He's talking about New Jersey. And, there was an interesting quote in Politico the other day where it talked about Trump and Carson's lies. It says, on the other hand, they come from a land of bull something that is a wonderful place where you lose the facts and wishful thinking mate to produce a quotable soundbite. They are not trying to deceive you in a Clintonian fashion. They're indifferent to the truth and content to say the first things that pop into their mind. You can see the strategy at work with Trump's story about Muslim Americans. Are you concerned that it's going to come to a point that he is going to say something, dare I say, so outrageous that it's going to impact the chances he has in the general election should he get that far?
I think that the Washington Post article has proven that there were Muslim Americans cheering in New Jersey. Certainly across the world there were people cheering. And really, when you look at some of the people on Twitter and from New Jersey that talk about this and some of these other news agencies, this happened.
It did not happen to the degree he says it happened. I mean, 9/11 was pretty well documented in terms of being on television. Everybody still had video cameras back then. There were not large crowds in New Jersey.
There were Muslim Americans cheering when 9/11 happened in America, and it's unfortunate, and this goes to the greater issue of security, and this all came up obviously because the Syrian refugees, and the question is whether or not we should let these refugees in our country without a proper vetting system, which the national director of the FBI said can't happen. The question is do we let them in? No.
But there again, he says that we're going to let some 200,000 Syrian refugees into the country. Nobody is talking about that. And Rita, let me ask you.
Well, and there's many of these issues that continue to come up where Donald Trump and Ben Carson are saying outrageous things that are controversial, that are causing great things to be stirred up that don't have factual basis. And this is just one of many.
But let me ask you this. To this point, it has not hurt him in terms of Republican primary voters. So does it matter?
Well, again, the Democratic Party just wants Donald Trump to keep talking, because the electorate that's interested in being a primary voter for Donald Trump do not represent the voters of the country. And so you're looking at a very small, slim slice of the big Republican field. When you go to a general election, you've got to be talking to the entire country. You've got to be talking to independents and Democrats and moderate, reasonable Republicans who care about substantive policy issues.
In
Joe.
every poll across the country, every state poll in the Republican primary, certainly Donald Trump is beating Hillary Clinton right now in national polls, 46-41. The public is tired of the political rhetoric we're getting out of the politicians in D.C. Hillary Clinton's going to provide another 8 years of Obama. People are tired of it. People want to hear the truth. They want to hear a straight talker, and that's why people like Donald, because nobody's going to.
They want to hear the truth and want to have a.
Nobody is going to buy Donald Trump. He's self-funding his campaign.
And I'm going to argue about Hillary Clinton not being able to beat Donald Trump because she can.
Okay, but let me ask you this, and I'll direct it your way, Christopher, because another poll came out the other day in terms of truthfulness and temperament. And while people do say that Donald Trump is more truthful than Hillary Clinton, they do say that Hillary Clinton has a better temperament than him in terms of the latest polling. Christopher, what do you see in the community where we live and work in terms of what is important to people?
I think if you walk around downtown or you go to one of these rallies, you see what really concerns people is the main issues. And a lot of what we saw, on Saturday was a big spectacle. It was a very big show. He's a master showman coming in on the helicopter. But I think a lot of people are really concerned about the issues themselves. And I'd be really interested to hear more.
And they want to hear our politicians talking about real substantive reasons.
And that's why Donald is winning.
And
Donald is winning every poll across the country.
We have only about 30 seconds left, but I want to get to you. He's massively ahead in the Florida poll amongst Republican candidates. How important will the Florida primary be, not just to Trump, but to Rubio and Jeb Bush?
Donald Trump is going to win here in Florida. It's going to be the end of the race for all the other Floridian candidates, and I think it will be the final nail in the coffin. Donald Trump is going to take that momentum, and he will become the next president of the United States.
So my question is that Joe Gruters, the chairman of the Republican Party of Sarasota, saying that, or is that the...
All right, we got to leave it there. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Baking show, huge hit from the UK.
I love it.
Oh, what fun it is to see the treats competitors bake. Baking show, coming to ABC. Who will make the yummiest bake? Judged by Mary Berry.
I can't wait.
The Great Holiday Baking Show, a 4-week event, premieres tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
This week on Millionaire.
I really, really, really want to be your first millionaire.
When the going gets tough.
I'm not sure.
Oh, goodness me, this is a difficult one.
They get tougher.
I want the million. I'll put 25 on the line. Final, please help me.
I came here to play. I'm going to go for it. Oh, Matt. You're right. $50,000.
This week.
Here it is, your $100,000 question. This will be a pure guess.
On Millionaire.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC7. On your TV. On your computer. On your camera. On your smartphone. On your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News, on Roku. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News, on the go. Help make the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions come true by attending Christmas in Candyland, Saturday, December 12th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Michael's on East. It'll be a wonderful family event with treats, music, cookie decorating, face painting, and other children's activities, followed by a special visit by Santa. Proceeds benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Central and Northern Florida. Get tickets at ChristmasInCandylandSRQ.com. Brought to you by these sponsors at ABC7.
Welcome back. Donald Trump came to the Suncoast on Saturday, and we asked you what you thought of his visit. Carol Case writes, he was amazing and right on as usual. Thank you for coming to Sarasota, Mr. President Donald Trump. And Wendy West Fitton writes, I got tickets and purposely didn't go. I have zero respect for anyone running for leadership who is consistently disrespectful to others. Sickening. Who supports that? And Mary Beth Waltz writes, there are long lines for the circus, too, when it comes to town. Just another form of entertainment. Just don't mistake it as a viable candidate for president of the USA. If you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a great night.